How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Fredericksburg. Today I'm going to be building a train station for the city. Now you might be wondering, where are we going to fit a train station into the city? And that is a good question. I'm actually gearing up for a convention. Might have already happened by this time this video comes out, I'm not sure. But I am going to be rearranging the layout a little bit. If you saw in the last video, I described these farms are going to go that way, so there's going to be some space, and I'm going to put the train station on this side because I'm not bringing that hill. So I'm gearing up for that, but eventually I think the train station will go on the far right side over here. I'll move all these other sets and have the train station here, and it'll kind of go off into some mountains, is what I'm thinking, and having some open area without buildings. But anyway, let's go ahead and get building. In the 19th century, Fredericksburg was an isolated community in desperate need of a railroad. However, the surrounding hills were believed to be too steep to get the track in. Eventually, a tunnel was dug and the train arrived, but that's a story for another video. Today we'll just be preparing the station. I couldn't find much info on the station itself, so I'll just be relying on the street view images for the build. So the train station is going to be 2 base plates wide. There's going to be kind of a passenger building and then a cargo building. So we'll start just with the passenger side first. I got the plates lined out where the foundation is going to go. Going to bring it all the way almost to the back and side here to maximize the room. Using dark gray bricks for the foundation. I used those masonry bricks turned around the other way just for some texture. You can see a little bump stops for, I guess, vans and stuff, to trucks to pull up and offload. There we go, gives it 3 bricks of height to match a potential train that will be next to it. Floor is going to be on some plates, and I went ahead and tiled that off in light gray. Have a few quarter rounds just to make it look like the concrete's chipped up a little bit with all the traffic. I didn't put any supports underneath the middle, but I think it'll be okay. And then let's go ahead and add a staircase on the side here. Originally I thought this was a wood building, but then when I found more pictures, I saw that the walls had all that stone rock around it, except for that first middle part, which was red wood. I don't know if that was all added on later or not. I don't have much information about this train station, but I went ahead and designed it based on the pictures I had. For the walls, I used a ton of these modified snot bricks that are, I think, 1 brick and 2/3 high. And then I covered those with round tiles, both the big ones and the small ones, in varying different colors to make it look kind of like that natural stone facade. I think it does a pretty good job. Tried to make it look fairly random. Let me know what you think about that. The side walls are similar. So I think that's looking like a pretty good exterior. Matches the original building fairly well, I think. It's kind of a pain to put all those on, so I went ahead and did that off camera. For the interior, I'm going to have a closed off ticket office back here. Start by putting down a back desk. I got a hourglass, binoculars to see the trains come in, a clock, and a stack of tickets there, and then a little safe underneath. I actually found an old timetable for this train track, so I recreated that and made some custom stickers. So we got the San Antonio, Fredericksburg, and Northern Rail Yard Company, and I think that looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. Obviously I had to simplify it a little bit because there's just too much information, but I think that's enough information to help people get their tickets. Got the name and the different stops on the spur route and the times going both east and west. That's towards San Antonio and then back towards Fredericksburg. For the waiting area, I'm going to put a couple of benches with chairs, going with dark red and sand blue. Give the awaiting passengers a place to sit. Then I'll go ahead and put a dividing wall for the ticket office. Got sand blue door here, little ticket tile on top, and then I used one of those fence pieces hanging down with headlight bricks to make a divider, so they have to pass the ticket money underneath. Let's add the guy selling the tickets behind the counter. And then we have a grandma taking her granddaughter on a train ride because she looks like she's an enthusiast. And there we have the interior. Fairly simple, but I think it has just enough detail. Glad I printed that custom sticker of the timetable. For the front wall, it's going to be dark red board and batten style. Use those channel bricks to achieve that look, and then more sand green. These doors are on hinges, so they do open inward. I can either hose them inward or outward, but they are kind of thick, so you can't really close them. But it got the look I was going for, with those big sand blue doors. There we go. And then I went ahead and put some safety rails around the side there so no one falls off. So like I said, we got another base plate here for the cargo section, along with more brick-built foundation to get up to the same height. And then a floor similar to the other one. Might actually add a couple supports underneath this one because when I was pushing this wall down over here, it was bending a little bit. So just a little support in the underneath there. And then I'll just add a front wooden porch here. That way we can load and offload the cargo from the train. This one's gonna have similar walls as the other side, except for they're gonna be way bigger. A lot of those round tiles. I put a few barred off windows up high here just to help with ventilation and keep security there for all the cargo. This one has a door. There's gonna be a little more secure area here. And then one more big gable wall on the other side. I turn that around, you can see it is pretty big stone looking building. Let's go ahead and fill up the warehouse side with a bunch of cargo. So we have the main warehouse here, but there's a little smaller area here behind that door for a more secure area, only because I needed to do something with that little skinny spot between the two buildings. So let's go ahead and just add some shelves with some, I don't know, I guess more important cargo. And then, oh, this might not fit. There we go. Almost had to put that on before the wall. Then I have a little small wall that'll slide in. A couple of security windows up top on that as well. There we go, that's that little hallway section. So a little gap here where the stones can't reach, but I don't think it's too bad. Onto the big area, let's start with another shelving unit of similar boxes. I guess these aren't as important as the ones that look exactly like it, I don't know. And I'm gonna do a big one along the back wall. These have those larger crates, and I just put a little backpack basket thing on the side there. Put a couple other crates underneath. And then for this side, I'm putting another shelving unit, this time with a couple bales of wool. Use some white profile bricks for that, because we have that mohair warehouse, and up top is just a little chest. Put another box in the corner here, along with a broom, because probably need to sweep up the warehouse from time to time. And then up front here in this main area, I put a big stack of bags and barrels. And it's kind of hard. I had to use a lot of very specific jumper plates and everything to get these to fit, or to get as many as I could fit in a small area. So they're all angled in a specific way. Let's see if I can attach this without everything coming off. Some of them are coming off. There we go. So that's a cargo warehouse filled with lots of different stuff that I guess just came off the train or is about to get put on the train. Got a couple warehouse workers, one of them sweeping. And then before I put on that front wall, I actually made a couple of sliding doors. You probably saw that groove there. So I need to put those in while I put the wall on, because the front wall has those wide rail pieces for them to slide on. The rest of it is pretty similar. It's the same stone texture. Only the front part of the passenger area had that red board and batten siding. There we go. And we got two sliding doors that open and close. And then I'm going to put just a skinny little awning above those doors. It can't stick out too far, otherwise a train would hit it. So the roofs, I went with a light gray kind of corrugated look. I have a lot of jumpers underneath and then just more tiles on top. And then they're just going to rest in there with bracket pieces. I ran out of these bigger brackets, so I need to get some more, but hopefully this should work. And then those other plates just keep it from going left and right. Same longer one. And then there's a little gap on top, which you can't really see, but I just made this really long tower of round bricks and put some bars in there, so that'll just rest on there like that. And then I made a little awning for the covering here. They'll clip in, and then these candlestick pieces are just for show. And then the roof for the bigger section is very similar. Only thing I did different is add a little kind of cupola thing think that's what it's called. And another one of these for the gap on the top. I added a bunch of dark green plant pieces around the foundation. I really like that piece. And I put some dark orange and brown ones, plant stems underneath the deck here because it doesn't get as much sun. And then I have a security guy, I guess an officer or deputy, something like that, holding a gun, walking around for security. And then since this is a station, I guess we should probably go ahead and put a track in front of it. There we go, guys. There's the train track. I've never had a Lego train before, so I've never built any Lego tracks, but I looked at what other people did online. It looks like most people alter or do only one space in between the cross ties, and it looks like that requires a lot more parts for ballasting. And I didn't like that uniform ballast look, so what I did, you saw I put some real big plates, and then I used those wedge plates to try to create kind of like a more natural looking ballast of the rock. I guess they're pretty uniform in real life, but I don't know, I like that look, and that let me not need as much plates. And then with the cross ties, it seems like most people don't like the double cross ties because it looks, I don't know, a little less realistic, and they put one space in between each. Instead of doing that, I just put two different colors on the same one. So you see dark brown and reddish brown, and kind of made that look a little random. There's a pattern to it, but try to make it look a little random, and I think that looks a lot better. Still not as good as, I guess, every other one, but like I said, I was trying to minimize parts because ballasting the track seemed to take a lot of parts. And then I just put some dark gray studs for the gravel. But I think it turned out all right. Let me know what y'all think about that technique. Other thing, I added some of these bar pieces with the stud on the end, like a little lollipop, and that way it keeps this top part from sliding off. But there we go, the train station. It is huge. I was not expecting it to be this big, but there it is. I'm not going to put the building in Fredericksburg today because there's not really any room for it, so I'll just wait until I come back from the convention and re-put everything up on the platform. And if you've really been following along in this video, I bet you probably can guess the next update to Fred-BRICKS-burg after this one. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and I'll see you next time.